today I have my beautiful and kind friend Paige Lewis with us, and so glad that you're here joining us. Really, you are just one of the women that I look up to the most, and it's just wonderful to get to have you speak into the lives of those listening today. And so, anyway, just tell us just a little bit about yourself, what you like to do, how you like to spend your days, maybe what's been stirring in your heart, and just so everyone can get to know you a little bit better.
Yes. Hi, guys. Yeah, Candace, first off, I just want to say that you are a power woman for the Lord, and I'm just so grateful to know you, to get to know you more over the last couple years, to do ministry with you. And so just so thankful for you. So I just want to say that. And yeah, just a little bit about me. So excited to be just talking, having this discussion. But yeah, a little bit like me, like Candace said, my name is Paige, and a couple things about me is number one, I love fitness and I love community. I love people. I'm super extroverted, so I definitely get my energy off of meeting with people and being around people. Right now, I'm a private caregiver, and so I care for the elderly community. I have a huge heart for our older people. Shout out, and so yeah, and I am. I love family. I spend a lot of time with family and, like I said, community. So it's basically like community, fitness, family, and caring right now, especially this summer.
You know, one thing that people may not know about you, and I didn't know about you for the longest time until I saw you show up in this sleek motorcycle, is how you have this passion for riding motorcycles. And so is it this, are you an adrenaline junkie? Like, how did that start? And also, if you're hearing the cars, we're sitting at a coffee shop, so just enjoying the day, and so there might be a little bit of feedback you're getting, but yeah, so tell us about motorcycles.
Yes, absolutely. So my dad rides, and I've watched him ride my whole life. He's ridden for 40, 50 years. He's an excellent rider, and so this has been something that I've been really wanting to do. It's been heavy on my heart to do this, and so I want to be like my dad. I want to ride. This looks so cool. Let's do it. And so about a year and a half ago, last February, I purchased my first bike, and it's a really sleek bike. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that I thought, when you do something, or when you start a hobby, or you're starting something new, and you're like, man, this is gonna be easy, piece of cake, like let's go. That's kind of how my mentality was with this bike of I just hop on it, start riding, and let's go. It's gonna look so cool. No, actually, it was about an 8-month process of me going through training, actually failing at taking the rider's test. I failed one time, trying not to be butthurt about that. And
hard to do.
Honestly, it was just this longer process of learning than I thought it was going to be. And you know how the Lord just humbles you, right? It was a very humbling experience. And it was very hard. It was very challenging to learn the mechanics, to learn the mentality of a rider, and understand that, when you get on a bike, that your probability of death or of serious injury goes up. So how you have to have this sharpness, this mental sharpness. Sometimes when you drive, you're like, man, this is an off day of driving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
cannot. Does that light green?
Right. Exactly. It's like, no, you can't. You can't have that. You have to be mentally sharp each and every time you get on the bike. And so it's really taught me this sense of excellence and sharpness that I've been really able to transition to other areas of my life. And and it's fun. You don't see a lot of women in Oklahoma doing it. So it's something that's different. It's fun. It's challenging. And so I love it.
So cool. And I'm not surprised, because all throughout just hearing that story and just seeing how you live your life, like there are many words that come to mind when I think of you, but one is dedicated. You're very dedicated to your faith. You're dedicated to living a fit and active lifestyle and bringing women into that. And I think even today I saw your mom was working out with you.
Yes.
So love that.
She's a hoot. Yes.
Yes. So, tell us how did that start for you?
Yes.
And why is fitness important to you? And just tell us a little, maybe even your favorite workout.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So, fitness has been a huge, point in my life since I was probably the age of 10 or 12. I did basketball. I've done track. So it's just been this constant activity. Physical activity has been something that I've done for a long, long time. But honestly, over the last year and a half, the Lord has given me just this increase of one, taking the passion that I have for fitness, and kind of turning that more, instead of like inward, kind of turning that more towards out in an outward expression of helping other people try to find that passion as well. Specifically for women. I think women have this really negative connotation that in order to be active, in order to be fit or healthy or strong, you have to be kind of a meathead, or you have to be this Amazon woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, honestly, for the average day woman, that is a little unrealistic. Because there's so much hours in the gym and dedication to nutrition and all of this stuff that goes into those types of lifestyles that the average day woman who spends maybe 45 minutes to an hour in the gym and maybe eating healthy 70% of the time, you know what I'm saying, that they won't get to that amount of muscle mass, or that look that sometimes can be intimidating, that women don't want, so it's like, how do I break, Lord, help me to break this narrative that in order to be strong or fit or healthy, you have to look this certain way. And it's like, no, like, to be strong, fit, and healthy, that looks different for each and every woman. Every woman, their body size, their body type is so different and unique and beautiful, and that you can be strong, lean, fit, confident, and competent in your own way, and that's specifically inside the gym, when you go into a gym, you go in, you know what you're doing, you feel confident, you feel strong, you feel lean, but also how that translates to other areas of your life. So that can translate definitely in the gym, but outside the gym. And I think another narrative is, I don't want to get hurt if I start lifting weights. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, okay, well, let's come work out with me, and let's see what works for you. And
really tailoring it to you, and setting your expectations for your body type. It's gonna look different.
For the average day working woman, you know what I'm saying, like that maybe all they have is 30 minutes to work out,
Well, and it's cool to me how even when you're talking about fitness, faith comes out, and so that those two are not, they're inseparable for you. And one thing that I heard you say a couple of times was being strong. And that's something that I definitely see in you, is that you're strong in the Lord. And I think there are many people in the Bible that we think of for strength. And, one maybe being Joshua, being strong and courageous before they led him, before he led them into the promised land. And then obviously there's Samson with all the hair, and he had great physical strength. But last time we were talking, you pointed out one woman, and I think she deserves to be in this lineup, but she's often left out. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about this woman and how she's described and why she deserves to be in this lineup.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So when Candace and I were talking about the Proverbs 31 woman. And last summer I really wanted to study who this woman was, because you hear a lot in the Christian world, in the church world, about this Proverbs 31 woman, and it can seem like this overwhelming, characteristics or image, of like, oh my goodness. So I just spent a lot of time last summer just really studying her. And one thing, she has a lot of different characteristics about her, how she cares for her family, how she cares for the ones that work for her, how she's a wonderful wife, she's a wonderful mother,
businesswoman,
how she has her own trade, she has her own line of work,
right.
you know, and how she's a woman of status. So she's a woman of grace and of love and of mercy, right? So there's all these things. But one thing stood out to me that I was like, oh, I gotta hone in, and it's Proverbs 31:17, specifically verse 17. And it says, and her arms are strong for the task, right? And so I just honed in on that big time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in doing some research, you know, and what I felt Holy Spirit was saying is like, yes, there's spiritual connotation to this, but also like literally her arms are strong. Like she's got some muscle mass to her. She's got some leanness to her. You know, she's got some physical strength to her. And I think that is so important because in order to continue or to move forward in the call that God has for your life, the specific call, right? We have this, you know, big call as believers, Matthew 28, to go and to make disciples of all nations, but also 1 Corinthians, it talks about a specific and individual call that you see the Proverbs 31 woman living out and doing. But in order to live that out, in order to do that, you need to be physically capable too.
Right.
And now physically capable could mean so many different things, right? I've seen so many influencers who have no arms, no legs, you know, they're paraplegic, right? They so you know, physically capable could mean so many different things for so many different people. And so that's why I mean for the individual, for the person, not collectively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a really good distinction.
But for the Proverbs 31 woman, right, she needed to be physically capable to, you know, care for her servants, to work her trade, to work in the field, like to, you know, mend, to, you know, all these things, right? She had to be physically capable, physically fit. And, you know, let me see, I believe it is First Timothy 4:8. It says that bodily training is of some value, but godliness is of every value, right? And actually it says is of value in every way.
Ooh,
you know? And so I love how they put, you know, the emphasis on, right? Like, you know, bodily training, being physically fit, right? It has some value, you know, but being godly and continuing to move forward in the things that God has for your life, that has the value in every way. And so, you know, you see the Proverbs 31 woman doing that, right? And it's just that little sliver. That's that one little verse, but I think that it's so important to know that, man, physical fitness, being healthy, right, is so important to live out the call.
And I love it, practically speaking, because strong arms is something that's important to me. I love focusing on toned arms. That's something that I don't like flab. And so that's something that, you know, even my favorite workouts for arms is kayaking and pulling water. I mean, you will have toned arms in no time. And then 100%. There's this, you know, you talked about the working woman that doesn't have a lot of time. There's this 5-minute YouTube video that a friend showed me years ago, and I've stuck to it and I love it. It's called 5-Minute Sexy Arms. And, you know, one exercise in it is these praying arms. So you put your hands together and your elbows all the way together, and you basically try to pretend you're keeping a $100 bill locked in your elbows, but you just press upward, and then you sequence. So it's using a lot of your own body weight, but a couple minutes of that, and your arms will be jello by the end of it. And it's just that little bit of effort every day that makes the difference. But, you know, another thing though, I think why I want to do all that is because I'm the type that wants to carry my groceries in one single load from the car to the kitchen. Like I don't want to come back for multiple loads. So I need strong arms to do that. And hearing you talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, you know, we do think about it physically, but it is very much carrying the load. And we see that she has so much going on. So not only for the specific tasks that she needs to do, but for the load she needs to carry, her arms are strong. And, you know, not only does she carry her own, but she's carrying the load of her family. She's carrying the load of those around her that have been put into her path. And so, you know, you do this, I watch you do this so very well with so much grace. And like I was even telling you before we started recording that you make it look effortless. And I know that it's not effortless. I know that it's the strength of the Lord just coming through you, making it look natural. But curious, you know, how have you learned to balance that, your own carrying your own load.
Yes.
You know, because it's not like your life is empty of cares. So how do you carry your cares and also the cares of those around you?
Come on. Okay, this is so good. I love this question.
Yeah.
And you know, when I think about your cares and I think about strength, right? And I think about being strong.